Well, I hit the road a day early. Got the first 6 hours out of the way. Just crossed into Louisiana. It is super humid. I'm gonna spend the night here. It's 82 degrees. Look at the forecast. I think it'll get down to 76 by about 2 or 3 in the morning. I'll be all right with the fan on high. And the water's right over there. A jet boat out there. They're hunting for something with a spotlight. I don't know if they're looking for gators or something else. I don't know. Hey Nick, where are we today?
We are in Florida, or at least I think we're in Florida. Alright. It's humid enough to be Florida.
Trying to beat the rain. It's coming in.
We lucked out on the weather though. It's only that I'm being videotaped, but I can't figure out the equipment.
I know. Drop it on your head.
Right.
This is our primary setup for the first few days of production. 3-camera talk show scenario, a host plus a guest. And we had 2 setups, one with a remote guest. Like you see here, we're at a big screen in place of a second chair. And then that would just fly out and be a live guest as a case-by-case basis. We were scheduled about every hour, hour and a half. We would shoot a new segment. And 3-camera coverage, 2 over the shoulders, which are the FX9s. And then there's a 2-shot profile, which we ran the Amira. And it's been a month now, and I don't remember if we ran all of the cameras in Rec 709 or log, but I've had excellent luck. If I shoot a white card and white balance all the Amira and the Sonys to the same light source, they're pretty darn close, interchangeable. And then we had 2 A7s roaming around doing sort of promo, BTS type of coverage to supplement the show format. You can see the Amira here as the 2 shots on screen. One of the challenges with these standard 3-camera interviews is your key lights need to be on the opposite side of the set from the cameras. So when you're in a studio setting, obviously it's easy to rig the lights from a grid overhead so you don't see the instruments in frame. When you're out in the field, you can use menace arms, but even with a 12-foot menace arm, which is kind of the max you can safely do with a heavier light, you really don't have enough room to reach out. The roller stands ends up being right up against the edge of the talent's chairs. So in this case, it was cool. The agency and everyone, client, were happy with just embracing our soft boxes and having the lights in frame as part of the set. And we just had to work with a big empty conference room. So we set up 2 rolls of 12-foot seamless or 10-foot, whatever the standard size is, as the backgrounds for the 2 close-up cams. And then we just had the plain wall that fell off into the shadows, and our soft boxes with grid crates as the set, essentially, for the wide shot. Worked out nicely. I mean, this is all like internal. I think some of it is maybe supplier-facing corporate communications content. So it, I think, fit the purpose quite nicely. Set up a couple Fresnels here just to fill in the chairs in the 2-shot. We're pretty contrasty. No fill, just the soft boxes on key sides of faces. It's kind of cool. We were able to go with some nice contrast. Then we get these just 1x panels on the floor, creating a little gradient. Uplight in daylight, color temp, so a little bit of a blue hue for the close-up angles. And then all the cameras feed into this multi-view quad split. And then that went to a Paralinx transmitter to feed Video Village, a Zoom feed. I had a 21-inch monitor at my camera so I can monitor all the other angles. The Amira ran as a lock-off where the 2 FX9s were operated. And then you can see on the floor here behind the tripod there's a Pocket 6K on a gimbal. We used that for some other content that supplement or different topics not related to this talk show format. You can see here's my control station. Get my quad split view, and then the 4th view is the feed off of the Zoom call with a remote guest. And then I've got a MacBook, which is the send and return for Zoom for the remote guest. And I've also got a Blackmagic video assist recorder to record a clean feed of the Zoom call. You can see it there. That's the Zoom feed in the lower right of the quad split. And the ProRes recorder of the remote side. So this is all jam synced time code, and it'll be multicam edited in the edit. So no live switch, just ISO record at each camera plus the Zoom call. And then Rode wireless goes, lavalier mics on our guests, those work really well. And we had our daily commute back and forth through downtown Miami. Had a lot of fun, ate a lot of great meals. This is my first big travel shoot in over a year. I've done a bunch of little remote things on the road, but this is my first like big production like 2019. So this is another day. We're in a different conference room and doing some executive scripted content, 2 camera angles. And these are for creative, intentionally low angle looking up. So we ran the 2 FX9s. And then we also have a little 7-inch teleprompter as an eye line for dialogue scenarios, so that all these executives won't have to memorize a bunch of lines. They could just play off a prompter. There's the 7-inch. That works really well. Use that many times. You can take something that would normally burn hours and shoot it out in a couple of takes, keep everyone fresh, and prevent them from burning out. There's 2 of the angles with Nick sitting in. Different scenario. We lit this scene with a Gemini and a softbox. It was just a single light source. There was a backlight too behind the camera position here. And then that C-stand you see in frame is a flag that's cutting an overhead office fixture. And here are the cameras staged next morning, getting ready to be deployed for the day. The 2 FX9s were preset for interview format, iDirect, through a teleprompter at our producer in California, Haley, conducting the interviews remotely. And then you can see in the background the seamless for some tabletop shots with the speed rail slider on the floor. The Amira went over there to shoot some product shots, simul to the interviews. Nick and I were trading off different sets. And then in the afternoon, the Amira switched over to shoulder mode, shooting some single camera handheld in various locations, including a building that's under construction. Really, whenever I had to go handheld, I always prefer to go with the Amira. Even though it's heavier, it's balanced better and just looks better overall. So our commute back to the hotel downtown, checking out the boats every day. So here is our interview room. This ran for, I think, 2 days. So Haley, we're doing a little tech rehearsal, make sure we got a good audio return and levels feeding to Haley, and the eye lines friendly for our subject. This is the second angle, kind of a 3/4 profile. We lit the subject with 3 lights, pretty standard 3-point interview. No, I'm sorry, 2 lights. Key light, backlight, and then that black flag is a negative fill. So we just had too much bounce in this white room. The ceiling and walls just flat and boring. So that one black flag took away some of the light on the fill side, gave us a little bit of ratio. So primary angle. FX9s, man, they have excellent runtime in UHD with 240 gig cards. It's never a problem stressing about cards.
Yeah, so we're gonna break for lunch 22 o'clock. We over right now.
Here's our backdrop. Oh, the overhead's turned on and I screwed it up. Through the frosted glass, white background, because we didn't like the, it just looked like black on camera with the dark blinds. So I was out running around shooting handheld with the Amira on my shoulder. Taking a little break, checking in on Nick. Poor guy's been in there for hours. Monitoring 2 lock-off shots for interviews back to back to back over Zoom. It was a wrap up to a fantastic week. Extended my stay by 3 days. My wife flew in. We moved over to South Beach. It's a good trip. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.